On this episode of the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino, we recap OU's loss to Ole Miss. We also recap the other big games of Week 9 of college football. And of course, we give you our winners and losers of the weekend. Please download and subscribe to the podcast, rate it 5 stars, and write us a good review. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search Oklahoma Breakdown on any of those, and you'll find us. All right, our man Michael Hosty will kick this thing off. It's time for the Oklahoma Breakdown. It's a beautiful Sunday, October 27th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options in the month of October, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, simply the best. The Oklahoma Sooners are a 4-4 football team, Ted.
Yes, they are.
So first of all, vibes around the program, not what you're looking for. Players, coaches, fan base, you're a 4-4 football team. However, people may listen to this and go, you know what? Gabe seems kind of positive today. It has nothing to do with the football team and everything to do with the fact that my wife is pregnant with our third child, due in
Yes.
May, and I'm getting my first girl, man.
All right.
So I'm fired up. Nothing can kill my vibe. I'm getting my baby girl in May. I feel great. I We found out this week that it was going to be a girl, so I'm super excited. So if you're wondering why I'm not just in a terrible mood, that's it. That is what is keeping me afloat right now, is knowing that I've got a little girl on the way.
Well,
That's it. Because I would be in a just pit of misery if I was just thinking only about the current state of Oklahoma football.
that's awesome, man. I'm really happy for you guys. Congratulations. First girl. It's gonna be
I'll
awesome.
take I'll take any advice I can get from you girl dads out there. I do feel more comfortable knowing that she's going to have two older brothers looking after her.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of your job's gonna be handled, I think.
I also, now that I'm going to have a girl, I got to start lifting heavier. I've been kind of going for the, flexibility, pliability, like stay lean. It's
Yeah.
you look at me, you're like, okay, yeah, yeah, it's okay. Got to start adding some more mass in the shoulders, in the chest.
Some
We got to get a little
intimidation
more
factor.
intimidating. Yeah, a little more intimidating looking. I need to get on the Lehman plan. That's what I need.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
All right, enough of that. Let's talk about OU's loss to Ole Miss. Ted, let's start on the defensive side of the ball. What'd you see from the Sooners defense as you went through the tape against Ole Miss?
Yeah, it was an interesting day. Um, I think some of the frustration with how the second half went, boiled over onto the defense. But as I look at it, I think they played another winning game of football. Um, I mean, it was an absolute ass whipping on the line of scrimmage. Our defensive line against their offensive line. They had 31 rushing attempts for 69 yards, and that's legit. That we only had the one sack for a -2 yard gain. So it's not like, there's a bunch of hidden sack yardage in there against the rushing attempts. We absolutely stoned them at the line of scrimmage in the run game. Short yardage stuff was excellent down on the goal line. We had two fourth down stops right before half in that really nice sequence that had us feeling good going into halftime. We totally stuffed their ass on one of them, but brushed the face mask, and they got the automatic first down on that. But then we stoned them again. Really good there. There was, and I know the tight ends were big targets out there. You know, we were outflanked several times by the tight end coming back across the formation, and you know, sometimes that was a backer, sometimes that was a safety. But we kept that in check for the most part. You know, the big tight end play that they hit on that little, I call it power pass for, lack of a better phrasing there, where they pull the guard, fakes the power, and then hit the tight end on a little bit of a drag route. Um, it was terrible on the opening series. They ran it again later in the game. We played it perfectly. Um, it all comes down really to um, six plays, explosive plays in the passing game, which I didn't mention this. Longest rush of the day was 9 yards. So that was good. No explosive in the rushing game. Uh, Dart went for I think like 311 passing on 30 attempts, and 60% of it came on six plays. One of them was a like the deep crosser. They started in a bunch formation. We're in man to man. We There's just hesitation as we're sifting through everything, and then we get beat on the deep over route for a really nice gain. Um, my question is there, you got a bunch, and then you've got a back to that side. We got a collision up front. Kobe McKenzie and one of the guys run into each other, but then they hit the deep over route where we're, just kind of a step behind, sifting through it. Zone that out. That's what I say. Just zone it out on that side whenever you get that look, and maybe there's something there where they were supposed to, or a reason why they didn't. We had a stutter. We got beat. Cover three. You don't have anyone over the top as a corner. You have to you have to be careful jumping anything up front. I mean, if you don't have a buzz player underneath right now, you have to hesitate on that for a count just to make sure it's not a double move. We bite on it. Great throw by Jackson Dart over the top, and they end up scoring a play later. And Lane Kiffin does his stupid stuff on the sideline and all that in the middle of the play, which is just infuriating to watch. But you hit that, and then we had another deep ball, and I don't know who messed up. We got Des Malone as the corner, Peyton Bowen's the safety. It looks like everyone else on the field's playing cover two, and Peyton Bowen isn't, but it may have been like a quarter half over there, and they're both playing quarters, and Dez is supposed to. I don't know, but miscommunication there. We give up another deep ball on that one, and I thought the game defensively, where everything turned, was it's 16-14. There's 6 minutes left in the third quarter. We just had a sack on the little shovel pass. It was our only sack of the day. All right, so it's 3rd and 14. 6 minutes left in the third quarter. The score is 16-14. We get great pressure, flush Dart out of the pocket to his right, and on the run, falling down, makes a throw. And I sent you the clip of it. The receiver's coming across, and he doesn't even see the ball turned, and then turns up field, center field turns, and catches it. I mean, it's an incredible play. And that we got the stutter 2 plays later, and then they score a touchdown. And with the second half we had offensively, I mean that was the play that won Ole Miss the game, in my opinion. Um,
It's one of those plays where you just go, that's a hell of a play, man.
yeah, we're blanketed. It's great coverage all the way across the field in the scramble drill. So yeah, you're right.
I
There's
mean,
not a
from
whole lot
the
you
end
can
zone
say.
view, when he throws the ball, the guy hasn't even turned upfield yet. It's just a
Hadn't turned up field and isn't looking at him when he throws it. I don't know how he made that play as a wide receiver. It was great.
That's just a fantastic individual effort from those two guys. I mean, just
And chemistry, right?
yeah,
Just kind of knowing scramble drill. I'm going to work back upfield. Just this great stuff there by them. But all in all, I thought it was a really good day for the defense and just a handful of plays. Um, I thought really were the difference for us. I some I've got some small gripes. Like again, the call is coming in late a bunch of times. Ole Miss is snapping the ball while we have 11 guys standing up looking at the sideline. You just can't do that. And a couple of times they were, it was purposeful by them. It wasn't just necessarily we're waiting forever to get the call in. Like they're going tempo, kind of direct snapping some stuff, trying to catch us. But we have to be a little bit more prepared there. They didn't hit us on anything big because of it, but they were able to chew up some easy yards in the running game where otherwise they weren't able to get anything. Um, we got outflanked multiple times in the passing game with guys coming across the formation, losing leverage, and we gave up some plays because of that. That was something that kind of happened continuous. Um, the some of the underneath stuff with the tight ends, there's too much space there. I think we can be better, like more attentive to relating closer to some wide receivers. We've talked about that in the past. That continues to show up a little bit. I was I didn't like how we lined up on a man-to-man on a tight end at backer. I think that's a game plan thing, something that comes from the top. I think that needs to be changed. It just kind of puts us in a bad spot. And there's no reason to disguise it. Just get up there and cover the guy you're supposed to cover. And we were late on some blitzes. Nothing makes me more upset than whenever we're late on blitzes. There's a great chance they already know that you're coming. And if you're late, all we're doing is just donating an open area of green grass downfield in the passing game. Just get there on time, please. They know it's coming, most likely. Even if they don't, and you're not going to get there, it's a worthless play. So we got to time up some blitz better. Before we talk about some individual guys, is anything in there that you saw differently or want to add?
really just. I mean, it's the explosives. It feels like the same story from the Texas game. Now, South Carolina, it's really hard to know what to take from that one with how that thing started with the offense kind of just handing them the game. But I feel like what you just went through was those were the exact issues in the Texas game. It was just a handful of plays,
Full of plays, yeah.
handful of explosives. Now there were some in the Texas game. It was some explosive runs.
Hmm.
Here is just all explosives in the passing game. I mean, you gave up plays of 24, 34, 28, 35, 34, and 26
Yep.
in the passing game. And
That's 60% of the passing total on 6 plays out of 30 attempts.
I I think when you look at it overall, you went on the road against Ole Miss, who had an extra week to prepare,
Hmm.
and you gave up 26.
Yep.
It's is it as good as you want it to be? No. Is it winning football from on the defensive side of the ball for Oklahoma? There's no doubt. Go on the road and you give up 26. I
And the thing is, it looks kind of worse than it is. I think, I think if the offense performed differently, I think that number maybe changes. And we weren't on the field a bunch. Okay, I mean, so that is one thing. I think there was only 61 total plays from Ole Miss. They slowed the game down. We saw them. They would stay in that sugar huddle for a really long time and then come up, run the clock, and then snap the ball quickly. But we had a couple of face mask calls that were just it's so I hate that rule that whenever you just grab and release wasn't dangerous, guy didn't even turn his head, whatever, it's a 15-yard penalty. That seems extreme to me, but I mean, if you rip a guy's neck around, obviously that should be a 15-yard penalty. I thought that was really frustrating, but yeah, that it was an interesting game because, and we'll talk about some of the individual guys right now. It was a total ass whipping on the line of scrimmage. I mean, totally. It was great. Grayson Holton again moving around, running, extra effort, shedding blocks, making. He had a couple of times where he is one on one with a lineman, shedding him, throwing him to the ground, and making a tackle. I mean, it's the hardest thing in football to do, and he's doing it a lot. Um, Dejon Terry, whenever he's in there, he's very difficult to block, no movement at all. He's shedding guys. He's running really big, really good for the big guy he is. Um, R. Mason Thomas, uh, really good, excellent get off. Was running the corner, was stoning their tackle, had him guessing, and at the right time, late, times it up and finally counters with a spin move, and he wins, and it's perfect. But he stumbles and loses his feet, or he would have had a great sack. That was a tough one, but he was great in the running game. Ethan Downs was manhandling their left tackle all day long, and he was playing hurt. I don't know, was it a hamstring? It was hard to tell what he had, but
It it looked like right shoulder and yeah, something like left hammy or like glute.
yeah,
I mean, he looked miserable a lot of the game coming off the field, but the guy kept going back out onto the field because he's from Weatherford, and that's what people from Weatherford do.
yeah. I mean, just looked like a bulldozer. Boom, one arm would lift that tackle and just walk him into the backfield over and over. That tackle's like hanging on for dear life the entire game. It was great. I thought he was excellent. I thought Trace Ford had a really, really good bounce back game. Um, he did some really good things. Covered a wheel route out of the backfield that they tried to get to one time perfectly downfield. That was awesome. They did this really nice, like end around play, hard play action away with the tight end kind of lead blocking as a puller and then hand it to the wide out around on the end around. He played it beautifully, fought outside, made a great play. That was excellent. Um, Backers, Kip Lewis was really good. We didn't, just as a defense overall, there may have been one or two, but I thought we tackled really, really well. Nothing really stands out as far as a guy whiffing on someone and they turned it into a chunk play. Tackled well. Kip Lewis made some really nice physical plays. Think he was playing a little banged up too. Maybe took a shot on the shoulder. Um, Stutzman was excellent. Made a bunch of tackles. And I I don't know if we didn't cover that power pass good early. Stutzman played it perfectly later. I thought that was really good. Make a mistake, go over, see it on the sideline, and adjust to it. And they did a really good job with that. He had a bunch of really nice tackles out there. Um, Jaden Jackson had another really strong day. Kobe McKenzie, he made a really nice play on a little reverse, reading his keys. Keys took him right there. He's right where he needed to be. Made a really nice play. Um, Kanai Walker, it felt like the corners had a terrible game, but when we go back and look at, he got beat on the stutter go. I mean, it is what it is, but he had a couple of other really nice plays. Was in perfect phase on a deep ball that he defended nicely in the first half. So I mean, a bunch of guys played winning football. And the thing that stands out the most is if you go and watch all the short yardage stuff, I mean, it is win, 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 win across the board on the defensive line. I mean, it looks really, really good. We've got to figure out some of the miscommunication, and I don't know if it's call coming in late. I don't know if it's guys not talking, a mix up in the signals. I don't know what it is, but we continue to have some of these busts on the back end, and I don't know where it's coming from, but those plays are costing us. I mean, it's the big chunk plays, and oftentimes it's something that's probably avoidable if we just get the call communicated right.
That's frustrating, but I don't know how many times we've said it this year. Defense played well enough to win.
Yeah.
It's kind of the theme of the 2024 season.
Yep. I forgot to mention Deshaun McCullough. He didn't play a whole bunch, but I like what I see from him. The length, the physicality on the perimeter, does a really good job. He's athletic. He runs well. Whenever whenever he's expect like he got caught once by a tackle and it knocked him back a little bit because he was kind of on his heels. But whenever he's in a good position, is confident with where he's supposed to be, lined up properly. He's strong. He's physical. You don't get any movement off him. He ragdolled those tight ends for Ole Miss a couple of times and looked really good doing it. So that's it. That throw by Dart, 16-14, 3rd and 14, good pressure, and he makes that throw on the run. That was kind of the backbreaker, it felt like, for the game.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Let's talk about what we saw from OU's offense against Ole Miss's defense. But first, hitting the highway, remember to stop at Love's Travel Stops. You can't miss the heart of the highway. And with the Love's app, you can also save big. How big? 10 or 15 cents big. Save 10 cents per gallon on gas and 15 cents per gallon on auto diesel. Save with the Love's app today and be welcomed by clean places and friendly faces. Certain conditions may apply. See loves.com for details.
Oh, you tailgaters, listen up. We're now officially in the premium conference of college football, and you expect a premium product on the field and on the grill. That's why you need Didier Ranch's steak burgers to take your tailgate to the next level. Proudly raised in Oklahoma for over 120 years, premium beef this good is hard to come by. Go to DidierRanch.com. That's DIDIER ranch.com. Use promo code Oklahoma15 for 15% off your order. Didier Ranch, tradition plays better and tastes better.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, the official drinkware partner of the Oklahoma Sooners. This season, Simple Modern is creating unique drinkware for each home game. So get your exclusive refillable Sooner cups at any of the remaining home games. And when away games have you cheering at home, get your OU gear at simplemodern.com or Amazon's Simple Modern shop, along with more than 100 partnerships with colleges and professional sports teams. With 10% of all Simple Modern profits going to charity, many in Oklahoma, you're also helping Oklahomans off the field. Simple Modern, it's good everywhere. All right, looking at OU's offense against Ole Miss's defense, I think it's best to start here. What went wrong in the second half for the offense? And it's kind of a simple answer. It's third down. You look at the first four possessions of the second half. First possession, you've got 3rd and 3. Bowers Sharp jumps off sides, goes to 3rd and 8. He then drops a pass, you punt. Second possession, 3rd and 3. Bowers Sharp drops what would have been a first down. Ball is late from Jackson Arnold, but he drops it. 3rd and 3, you don't convert, you punt. Third possession, kind of a disaster. I thought it was a weak holding call on Heath Ozida, watching it on tape, but that puts you in 2nd and 18. You throw a screen to Bauer Sharp, which he then goes backwards. It turns into an absolute disaster. You're in 3rd and 26. Not many plays in the playbook for 3rd and 26, Ted.
No, there's not.
You punt. The fourth possession of the second half. 3rd and 5. Not ideal, but manageable. It looks like QB draw to me. Like the wide receivers are all running hitches. Javante Barnes kind of looks like he's leading on that QB draw play. You only get a couple out of it, 4th and 3, instead of going for it, you punt it.
Hmm.
So you're talking four possessions. The first four possessions, you're in third and very manageable, and you don't convert. And those were situations in the first half where they moved the chains.
Yeah,
They're really good on third down in the first half. They weren't good on third down to start the second half, and that's when the separation was created in the third quarter.
yeah,
I mean, that's the story of like what was the big difference between all the encouraging stuff we saw in the first half offensively and the very discouraging stuff we saw in the second half. It was third down. That's really, if you convert on some of those, who knows what happens, but they didn't. And so you're looking at the first four possessions, you had a 3rd and 3, a 3rd and 3, and a 3rd and 5, and you don't convert. So I when I went and looked at it, I was wondering, hey, how bad is this going to look on tape? And it's not just god awful across the board. It's you got to be better on third down.
hmm yeah. And that's frustrating. And again, like when you've got a 3rd and 3, the defense is they are the ones that are on their heels on 3rd and 3. You don't know what you're going to get. Maybe they're going to take a shot. Maybe it's just inside run. Maybe it's intermediate pass. Like when you're in 3rd and 3, you hold all the cards. Defense is guessing on what they get, and you false start. You can hard count them on 3rd and 3. They got to be attentive to the hard count, and you false start and go to 3rd and 8. That swings massively into the defense's favor. Now you're one dimensional. We're passing the ball here. Um, so that's tough. And let's also say this: that was a cool stadium, a cool environment, like all the stuff outside, and it was great. They had a good sound system, played good music, but that is not a hard environment to play in.
Not at all.
Not it's
Uh,
not loud. It's like a fun loud.
yeah,
It's not a intimidating loud.
I had that conversation with multiple people down on the sideline. Hey, this is solid, but it wasn't what a lot of people made it out to be. And it
No,
was an 11 a.m. kickoff. It is what it
right.
is. But yeah, it's not like that was some daunting environment to play in.
No, no. So that I mean that can't imagine that should have been a factor.
A couple other thoughts before we get to the position by position stuff. The run game. A lot of pre-snap motion, a lot of window dressing, a lot of shifts. I like the variety, lots of variations of counter, a lot of inside zone variations, right? They ran the inside zone, they ran split zone, they ran zone insert, ran some zone read. Saw them get to the bunch pin pull play to get out on the perimeter. Would have liked to seen some more just true outside zone. Didn't get a ton of that, which I think could have been successful, but ultimately, you look at the run game. Barnes was 16 for 67, 4.2 a carry. Tatum was 9 for 42, 4.7 a carry. There were some good things there,
Yep.
man. And that,
Agreed.
and I know that Walter Nolan didn't play the entire second half. I understand that, but you're going against one of the nation's best rush defenses, and you found some success.
And they did most of the success came whenever Nolan was playing.
True, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But I thought that they handled some of the interior twist stuff well, and we'll get to the offensive line. All everyone wants to talk about is the 10 sacks. I get it. They only gave up 6, by the way.
Oh,
I don't know how you what I guess the people that are logging the stats are intimately familiar with, hey, when you call a QB run and it's a tackle for loss, that should not be a sack. That makes no sense to me. But whatever. They gave up 6 in my estimation. But I would say some encouraging things in the run game. I still don't think there's not enough effective play action built off of these run concepts. The quarterback, like he never turns his back to the defense. There's not enough when it comes to the play action stuff off of these where it affects the linebackers enough, in my opinion. And I think that's a big issue in this offensive scheme is the lack of effective play action pass. But my biggest complaint overall about the offense, you have one wide receiver that consistently wins, and he wears number 15. Brennan Thompson, he runs a lot of different routes and he wins over and over and over, and the guy never gets the football somehow.
No.
It's crazy to watch.
Flyby after flyby after flyby on deep balls and never got one thrown. He got one thrown his way.
And it's not even that, like deep comebacks, deep dig routes. Like he's open. He's the only one that has real SEC speed out there for you. And somehow the ball never comes his way. It's crazy to me. He needs to be getting with Burks out, with Anderson out, with Gibson out, with Farouk out. Brennan Thompson should be getting like 10 to 15 targets or touches a game. He's your best player at
Yeah.
wide receiver. Like it's not even a debate. How is he not getting targets? Like how is there not a section of the play sheet just like, hey, get the ball to 15. Let's create a matchup for him and let's throw it to him. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
When you have the wide receiver situation that we've got, the ball's got to go 15's way. And there's a lot of these routes, Ted. He's winning. Jackson Arnold isn't even looking at him. I don't know how that happens. Like, doesn't there have to be a point in time during the week where the staff goes, hey, how can we get Brennan Thompson the football? And they come up with 8 to 10 ways. Hey, this is how we're going to get him the football. He had 0 catches in the game. And he's the only guy that gets open.
I don't know.
It's
That
nuts.
it is nuts. Just look at him. If you're looking for guys you're looking at the film. I know they go through the same film. If he's open, let's start going to 15. And I'm telling you, I don't know how many, but several times on like go routes, he is just breezing past that corner. Corner has no chance. Like once he gets even with him, it's over. There's probably not anyone I mean, very few guys in the conference that could turn and catch up. It doesn't happen.
Just throw the guy the ball. Design some plays where it's, hey, this play on these concepts, it is designed to get 15 the football. I don't know how that's difficult.
But it sounds to me like they don't even need to do that. He's already open. Just look at him.
Yes,
Just look at him. Let's start looking at 15 first.
that if I was Jackson Arnold, my eyes would go to 15 first. If the coverage dictates that I'm working his side of the field, my eyes are going to 15 first. I don't
If
know how
he's
you
not
watch the film. That's not your takeaway if you're a quarterback. Just like, oh, there's one guy that's consistently winning his matchups on the outside. I should probably throw him the ball.
Because if he's not looking at 15, he's looking at guys that have a large amount of drops.
And guys that they just can't create space. Um, couple situational things that I was not a fan of. You had the situation on the 4th and 1 on the first drive. You run this like fake QB run pop pass. I just, in that situation, you'd been running it pretty efficiently to start the football game. If you're going to do something, like at least have options for Jackson Arnold. That was, hey, if it's not there, the play is dead, and it was not there, and the play was dead.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go. Yeah.
Was not a huge fan of that call. Also, Tatum fumbles. Hester makes a great play to get the ball back, and then you dial up fake GY counter, and you're trying to run a reverse to Brennan Thompson. I think it all just gets destroyed in the backfield fumble. You hand him the ball again, which this offense's ability to for something big in a game to happen and then to give it right back to the other team is truly unbelievable.
I I feel like I don't know how many times we've fumbled or turned it over on back-to-back plays. It's incredible.
It's
I
not
mean,
good.
it's happened in almost every conference game, or at least in maybe not exactly back-to-back plays, but very close to back-to-back plays.
Let's get into the position stuff. Jackson Arnold starting with the quarterbacks. I really did. I thought he displayed some good toughness in the run game. Guy took a lot of hits in this football game. They asked him to carry it quite a few times with some QB run game stuff, and some of it looked really good. Some good creases in there in the QB counter stuff. As a passer, there's not a lot of guys open. There's just not. But when they are, the ball continues to be very late. I don't know what he's got to do to speed his process up, but he's got to figure it out because the ball it's just too late. Especially when you watch Jackson Dart's timing and some of the anticipation throws that he's making, and then you flip over and watch Jackson Arnold. There's a big difference there, man.
It feels like, good quarterbacks, throw on the read. Up, this backer's moved in this direction. I'm throwing here. I think Jackson says, "Oh, this backer's moving here. I'm throwing here. Is he open? Yeah, he's there." And it takes too long.
Yes.
That it just pow. As soon as you see it, ball out.
Whatever Kevin Johns and Joe John Finley have to do to get him playing faster mentally, they got to figure it out. And that's something we got to see that progression, that improvement the rest of this season from
I mean,
Jackson Arnold.
it's all a trickle down too, though. In his defense, if your wide receivers aren't consistently in the right spot, then you don't trust it, and you have to trust it in order to play that way. So that may be a factor. I don't know.
Speaking of wide receiver, Brendan Thompson, just throw the ball his way. Please. Please. Zion Reagan's something something is not translating from the practice field to the game field for this guy. Because what do we keep hearing, Ted? He's fast. He can run by anyone. He still has not run by anyone. He's never open. Ever. I don't know what's not translating from what they're seeing on the practice field to the game field, but that guy is never open. Zion Kearney had a tough time getting open. Guys from Ole Miss were physical. They can run. It's pretty clear on tape that Kearney does not have great speed. But he's got to learn to use his size and physicality. He's a guy I think, hey, he needs to get really strong and be a good possession receiver, right? Be really physical. That's kind of what I see from him. Hester had one catch for 19.
Another
Jacob
big
Jordan,
drop.
6 for 38. He had the touchdown on the scramble drill play, which was really nice. Keep playing. That was a nice job from him. He did some good things. He needs to learn to be more physical at the top of his routes. Right. At his size, guys are gonna get real handsy, and
The
he's got to
SEC lets you
learn.
play in those. I mean, they let the defenders play, so you better match it.
Yep. I will say this about Jacob Jordan. That dude will mix it up in the run game. He's going in there trying to dig out safeties, trying to do things that I just don't see other wide receivers try to do for this team. And I appreciate that. But overall, just pretty substantial lack of production from the wide receiver position in this game. And that's the difference, man. Our longest play was 20 yards.
What happened on the Hester drop on that third down? Was it was it a good ball? Was it
Little out in front of him, but I thought it was actually Jackson Arnold, maybe his best timing throw of the entire day, and just didn't connect. I that's would that have been awfully helpful? No doubt. But running back wise, I thought this was Javante Barnes' best game at OU.
totally agree?
He looked he looked like the best player on the field. Fast, explosive, elusive, making guys miss.
Running through tackles was good.
Did a nice job catching the ball out of the backfield on some of those checkdowns and going and getting a lot of yards after he caught it. Just a really, really good performance from Javante Barnes. Taylor Tatum, you can see how dynamic he is on the tape. I will say it looks like he's getting better at just knowing what to do out there on the field,
Good.
which is extremely encouraging. Now, you can't let a defender force a fumble that easily.
No.
That's way too easy. He's got to figure that out. You got to make those guys really earn those punch outs. The counter play, they did the direct snap stuff to him a couple times. The best block play of the day, if he just waits a count. I sent you the clip. If he just waits a count, I don't know if he scores, but he's got a chance to score from a long way away if he just lets Bauer Sharp get around and kick that guy out. Instead, he gets a little antsy, takes it outside to where the blocks are being leveraged, which is not exactly what you want to do. It was close. It was close to being a massive play in the running game. Just a huge hole. Just got to learn. He'll get a better feel for the timing of that play. But I think they should get back to that direct snap thing. That looked good a couple different times. Anything else in the run game? You got any other thoughts? It was
I I thought in the first half we were seeing the most physicality, speed, um, effort. The run game looked really good. I thought the offensive line looked great, and I think that I don't know it feels like that fed into the pass game too. Like whenever you take it to the defensive line and you're running the football well, it becomes a bit easier to protect. Man, I thought it looked really good for big chunks of the game.
looking at the tight end position. Bauer Sharp is just so up and down as a player. He's got to find. He's just got to find more consistency. I will say this: there is no question whether or not that dude is flying around out there. He absolutely is.
He had some great insert plays. I mean, he was selling out. It looked good.
The speed, the effort, but you got to catch the ball in key situations, and you have to learn the situations in the running game where you go and try to kill a guy or where you just have to get in the way. And there's too many where he's trying to kill a guy, he completely whiffs, and that guy makes the play. I there's a difference between playing with great effort and playing out of control. And
Yeah.
he too often is playing out of control in the run game. He's got to be a smarter football player. He's got to set himself up for success in some of these situations where he's going a million miles an hour trying to decapitate these guys on split zone or zone insert or counter. It he's setting himself up to fail.
Yeah.
And I know he hasn't played the position long, but I mean, how many times have I said this now?
A lot. And a lot of it is, I mean, as a defensive player, you watch how a running back, what he does in the open field, because most guys do the same things over and over. Well, he's a spin move guy or he's a stiff arm guy. It's the same thing on how guys take on those type of blocks. So you got to know the personnel. If you know the personnel, set yourself up quite a bit better. Know how they're going to, when you can go sell out. Like this guy's going to come collision me, I'm going to go sell out. Or does this guy jump around every now and then? Is he trying to avoid? That's a guy that you better throttle down a little bit.
Yeah. So Bauer Sharp, he has to be a more consistent player. I don't think throwing screens to him is a great idea. I don't know what they think's going to happen in that situation, but that's interesting. I don't mind the double pass. I would not. I'd like to see it called closer to midfield so you have a little more space.
Yeah.
I think calling it down in that area of the field where the field's a little more condensed, I think it's a less effective play. And it didn't work. You just had to eat it. But other than that, tight end wise, Jake Roberts played quite a few snaps, but other than catching the pass off that crazy
Yeah.
ricochet, that there was not a ton to mention about Jake's performance, which brings us to the offensive line. Uh, the first half was as good as they've played all season. And there's a lot of issues on the tape in the first half. A lot of technical issues, a lot of things I don't like, but damn it, they played hard, and that can cover up a lot, man. And I thought that first half it was the best effort that they had played with as a group, just finishing blocks, right? When the clip cuts off, like guys being on someone.
Yeah.
They gave up one sack in the first 76 plays of the game. And then they gave up five in the last 10 plays of the game when the offense was kind of in desperation mode. And
Yeah.
so I have them down for 6 sacks. I know you see the 10 number and you go, oh my God, holy shit, these guys are terrible. I don't consider QB called runs when the quarterback gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage. I don't consider those sacks.
Right.
I, Tackles for loss are not good, and there are way too many negative plays in this football game. I think Ole Miss was credited with 15 TFLs.
Whew. Yeah.
Way too many. Way too many. But it wasn't just god awful. It's nowhere close to where it needs to be. But uh, Jacob Sexton, hated seeing him go down. He was playing with really good energy, really good effort. His technique still needs a lot of work, but he was doing some good things. He was putting some of his best snaps of the year on tape early in that game.
Hey, I don't just from as an observer, not an offensive line, like not watching the technique and everything. He was showing up in a good way, like moving guys to the whistle, through the whistle. I from what I saw, I agree. He looked good out there.
Got the ankle rolled up, went into the tent, got taped up, tough guy stuff, gets back out there. I think 2 plays later, gets his knee rolled up.
Hmm.
And just in my experience, seeing an O lineman get hit in the knee the way that he did, and by the way, it was his own guy, which makes it, I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Like, not good either way, but it is. I'm not a doctor, but I'd bet money it's an MCL. I mean, that's just, I've seen so many plays exactly like that where a guy gets hit in the side of the knee like that and they tear their MCL.
Mhm.
Now, how severe it is, I don't know, but you got to imagine, hey, whether it's 4 weeks, 6 weeks, this team's not going to have Jacob Sexton for a while if he's able to come back this season. I don't know, but I hate it for him, and it's certainly a blow for this offensive line. But Logan Howland comes in. if he is not going to fix the technique flaw he has in pass protection, his pass set, he drops his outside foot, his left foot, he turns to the sideline and completely shortens the corner. I call it he is a swinging gate. There is nothing that can make an edge rusher's life easier than his technique flaw that he has right now. And I talked about it earlier in the season, and he hasn't corrected it. And Bill Bedenbaugh hasn't gotten him to correct it, and I don't know how that's possible because it is a glaring, glaring technique flaw. And you cannot play him if he's going to do it. If a guy does it, for me, he is unplayable. If that is your technique flaw at tackle, it is what he is doing is a death sentence for a tackle unless you are just an incredible athlete, which he is not. And the frustrating part is I kind of like some of the stuff he did in the run game. But you can't be on the field until he figures out that he cannot drop his left foot, turn his hips to the sideline, and shorten the corner. You cannot play him if he's going to do it.
Is it like a panic thing? Like,
Yes.
oh my God, this is my guy. I got to get there right away.
He's in fine position and he just freaks out, I guess. I don't know. But you can't do it. And we saw the results of what happens when you do it late in that game. He got beat and beat and beat, and it's all because of one technical error.
Mhm.
Heath Ozide at left guard, he's got to be more violent, man. Just he's doing a better job of covering up guys, but is that what we want to be as an offensive line? We're just a group that covers guys up. I also you can't leave your defensive lineman in pass protection until you get bumped off, man.
Oh, is that the one where we just kind of let the guy go free?
You mean right in the middle of the defense? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't just let guys go until you get bumped off, man. That's crazy. Communication, it's got to be better in those situations. He gave up a couple sacks late because of those exact communication issues. Troy Everett, I thought he did a solid job handling all the interior twist stuff from Ole Miss in the run game. That was not easy on him. He's got to do a better job of when he gets up to the second level. He's got to attach himself to linebackers. Gave up a couple sacks late. I don't know if the miscommunications with Ozide or with Everett, but they got to figure it out. Got to figure it out. You cannot just leave defensive linemen unblocked. I'm not sure really what that was. That was weird. Fabechi Wiwu, considering the competition, I thought it was his best game for sure, especially in pass protection. It was the most proactive I've seen him using his hands, moving his feet, being in a good finishing position, having guys locked out. I sent you some of the clips. I mean,
Mhm.
there's some
Yep.
stuff where you go, that's what it looks like.
Right.
That's what you're capable of. Still, still too many misses, too many whiffs in the run game, but there are some good things to take away from this one for 54. And then Michael Tarquin, he's not as good at right tackle as he is at left tackle. It's clear to me he's not as comfortable on the right side, but pretty much par for the course for Tarquin. He's going to cover guys up in the run game. He's, did a pretty good job covering guys up in pass protection. I gave him a sack where I thought he kind of stopped a little bit, and Arnold ends up getting sacked, so I credited him with that. But he just, I feel like I know what I'm going to expect from Tarquin. And it's kind of another one of those games. He's not a dominant player. He's not going to generate a ton of movement, but he's on the right guys for the vast majority of the game, and just kind of is what it is at this
Yeah.
point. But I they just need more talent, man. And this could lead to a
Now, are you speaking are you speaking the entire offense when you say that?
everywhere.
Yeah.
You gotta have more talented guys along the offensive line. I know all the receivers are hurt. I get it. You gotta have more talent at tight end. That's the thing is when you see these other SEC teams in person, just from a talent perspective, it feels like we're way behind from a size, length, athleticism perspective. Not necessarily on defense, but on offense. Like you look at our offensive guys compared to the other team's offensive guys, and you go, "Wait, what's going on here?" And I think that is, I mean, you got who you got right now. Can't do anything about it now, but we'll see how the rest of this season unfolds. But that needs to be the number one priority for this football program in the offseason is upgrading the talent on offense
Yeah.
across the board, every position.
Yeah. I mean, it's nobody cares, but it changes quite a bit if you got a 6'5" wide receiver and a 6'4" wide receiver out there with Gibson and Anderson um and I don't know, like it it could not have gone worse for the offensive line this year. Just how everything played out with all of the injuries and the portal guys never got to play hatchet. Um, Hickman never got to practice until games started and he was playing hurt. I mean, just the circumstances have been bad, but at the end of the day, what you say is absolutely correct.
Be interesting to see what it looks like moving forward.
I'll say this, I hope Mitchell at tight end comes around. I don't know what's going on there because like he's one of those guys that you're talking about that looks exactly like you want him to look at tight end. And I don't know, he reclassified and came young, so there's some time there, but I don't know.
We'll see. I think the last thing to talk about is I don't know what the future looks like for this program at offensive coordinator, but I thought Joe John Finley did some nice things.
Yeah, I agree.
Did it? I I really don't know what that means or doesn't mean at this point in the season, but I thought that Joe John did some nice things, calling plays, especially in the first half, and then the second half just got to convert on third down. But yeah, the offense it looked more organized, and I think the most complimentary thing I can say is that it felt like the players played harder.
I agree, especially the first half, right? And then I think the second half got off to such a weird start with that 3-and-out, and yeah, I thought they were going to come with the way they played the first half. That exchange, but right before halftime, getting the stop, going on that really long drive. What was it, like a 13-play drive or something like that to score? I thought they were going to come out of the second half with their hair on fire, and we never got much going to get excited about, I guess.
You got anything else from the offense?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm a glass half full guy. I don't know, but I do come away feeling like there's some things that we can build on. And I'm glad we're playing Maine this week, not just because we need an easy win. I think uh, hopefully we find some rhythm and get some confidence back with some of these guys that have struggled. And I think because I think a lot of it is just I mean, confidence goes a long ways in sports, and like we could use a confidence booster.
Give the ball to 2 and 15 and sprinkle some 8 in there.
Hmm.
And if 10 catches the ball, he can make some plays as well. But if you can't get open against Maine, then I don't know what to tell you. We'll find out. We'll find out. All right, let's get to call your shot. We asked you guys your number one takeaway from OU's loss to Ole Miss. This first one comes from Clayton Champion, who says, I know there's no moral victories, but it sure felt like we had one in the first half. We finally showed incremental improvement instead of detrimental regression. Hopefully, this is a good sign moving forward because it's time to buckle up. I would say incremental improvement is what we watched in the first half for sure.
Yeah, especially against what has I mean the strength of Ole Miss's team so far in conference play has been their defense
No doubt.
and they're in their front seven. It's a experienced group. It's an old group, and we held our own and performed pretty nicely against them.
This other one comes from at Barry Boy 92, who says team showed some resilience and fight early, but couldn't close out. Obviously, need better OL play, which is not breaking news. And if OU doesn't watch the tape on the squirrel touchdown at least a few times, we aren't committed to winning. That's good. There was a squirrel that was on the field, people. I don't know. Did they show it on the TV broadcast? They had to have.
I'm sure. I'm sure they had to have.
But there was a squirrel on the field, and Toby Rowland's call of the squirrel going down the field and scoring the touchdown is just top notch stuff.
Yeah,
Just trying to work something in that'll make us laugh through the pain, Ted.
yeah. No, it was good. It was good.
All right, let's recap the best games of week 9 of college football. But first,
Schwab Meat loves football. They make delicious smoked meats, hot dogs, and sausages for us to enjoy before, during, and after games. You should go load up on schwabmeat.com and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over 75 bucks. Schwab also loves football players in Oklahoma. They partner with Danny Stutzman and Nick Martin. Those two linebackers got the dog in them. Schwab should know dogs are what they do. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
and 3 things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise, it's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go.
And head to the garage for hand smashed patties, butter toasted buns, and ice cold beer. It's the perfect spot to watch any big game. And with all the garage locations being open at 10 p.m. or later every night, it's the go to late night spot. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you and order online from the garage in your neighborhood.
All right, week 9 in college football. Let's start in College Station. My goodness.
Woo!
A game can change quickly. The Texas A&M Aggies win 38-23, and it felt like LSU was in control of this football game. Garrett Nussmeier was pushing it down the field. They were finding explosive plays in the passing game. 17-7 at the half. In fact, probably felt like they should be winning by more, had a couple missed field goals. And then the third quarter, LSU couldn't stop turning it over, and Marcel Reed came in and just tortured LSU's defense. Ted, the way that this game flipped was crazy.
Yeah, and it flipped on both sides of the ball at the same time. The Texas A&M defensive line started to take over the game and forced Nussmeier into some really bad spots. Secondary was jumping routes, doing some really good stuff. Crowd came alive and got into it. And Marcel Reed, I mean, that dude looked incredible out there.
Is that Pat White?
My goodness. He was like dipping, shaking guys, throwing bombs. I mean, that was awesome. That was fun to watch.
I was trying to decide. It was as if Pat White and Lamar Jackson had a baby.
I know it. It
I
was,
mean, he was. I mean, he came in and just with his legs. He only had to throw the ball a couple times, but one of
yeah.
them, that deep ball he had
Woo.
was perfect. And that third quarter is where it just all unraveled. Nussmeier's interception. Then Reed comes in the game. They score. I think it was the next play. How about LSU's field goal issues? Miss a couple. Deep snapper snaps it when the holder's not even looking, hits him straight in the chest. The slow mo reaction of that holder is priceless.
The ball hits him and he's on the field and he's like, instead of going to get the football, his instant reaction is like, what the hell?
It was incredible. They don't even get an attempt up, and then what does A&M do? They go right down the field and score. Marcel Reed gets carried into the end zone by a couple of his offensive linemen.
I loved the thing that made me laugh the most about that was everything's going bad at the time. Everything. And Brian Kelly goes and sells out on the deep snapper and holder. Like that is the main issue that's happening right now is I mean whatever the holder looks down and look I guess they got their wires crossed a little bit, but he just goes over there and pours into them on national television. Meanwhile, his quarterbacks throwing turnovers, offensive lines getting run through, defensive guys are whiffing on tackles left to right. That was pretty funny.
The the three straight turnovers and Texas A&M just cashing in on all of them was clearly where the football game was won for the Aggies.
It was wild. That was in like the tale of two halves. It's almost better to play that way. Like whenever you're at home in that environment where your crowd's like somewhat asleep and then late it just takes off like a rocket. That looked like a lot of fun.
It was pretty entertaining from the couch. What was there, 108,000 at Kyle Field?
A bunch.
That place looks, it does not look like a fun place to play. I know we both played there and it wasn't fun at the time. And there's a lot more people at that place now than when we played there.
That's crazy. It's crazy. When they added that second end zone, it's like, how is that not the biggest stadium in the world now? It has to be.
It's huge. But I, I, I thought the most impressive thing, like, it feels like LSU maybe settled a little bit. They go on that nice touchdown drive after the chaos of the turnovers took place. And then Marcel Reed just answers right back with that beautiful deep ball. Like that's when that happened in that sequence. And it felt like any momentum that LSU had, he kind of just ripped their heart out with that play. And Le'Veon Moss ripped off a touchdown run a couple plays later. LSU's defense was helpless once Marcel Reed entered the game. It was, I mean, that was pretty embarrassing for LSU's defense. They
He
had no answers.
no answers. I mean, they'd be in position and you would just see be left hugging air. He'd shake someone out of their shoes and even whenever you played it well, everyone's in the right spot where they're supposed to be. When you can do that and then a guy can still turn that into an explosive play, that is when you're really in trouble on defense.
You know what my number one thought about Garrett Nussmeier is now after watching him play several football games? He has an all-time, oh my God, what have I done face. He like grabs, so he's got the chin strap that doesn't buckle, it like clicks,
Yeah.
and he grabs it like as tight as he can and he pulls the straps And he's just looking like, oh no, what happened?
No.
It's pretty entertaining. He just looks so stunned after throwing another interception. But
He is, you know, he is a fun quarterback to watch when you have no like you're watching the game for pure entertainment. He's a fun quarterback to watch because it's like amazing play, great throw. He's like effort. He like it's a sellout on every play, and then there's the bad plays. You know what I'm saying? There's no like level. It's like
he takes you on a football roller coaster with this
yeah,
play.
yes, he
I
does.
can't imagine being an OSU fan
Tough.
because there's plays where you go, we have the best quarterback in the country.
Yeah, he's got a great arm, great vision, throws guys open.
And then 2 plays later, you go, we've got a complete idiot playing quarterback.
Like like
That is
Brett
the
Favre.
Nussmeyer experience right now.
Yep. Did you
I,
hear Elko after the game?
real program, not a politician talking fast running it.
Yeah. Woo.
I think he's been holding on to that one.
Yeah. Yeah, he has.
That was it. Just it was just another reminder that damn it, they got their hire right.
Yes, they did.
They also completely shut down LSU's running game. LSU's running backs had 38 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Kane Durham had 11 carries for 15 yards.
That D line, they that's some that's some good looking football players. Did you see that all the
The
little
shenanigans before the game,
shenanigans? Yeah. I liked it because I was like, oh, this is what a little skirmish is supposed to look like. That is some dudes out there.
a lot of beef in that skirmish.
Lot of beef.
I didn't mind it.
No,
I didn't mind it.
nothing bad. I mean, it's just,
It's
a
not like
couple of
someone punched someone in the face or something. It was fine.
pushing, shoving.
Couple guys talking.
Yeah, it's good.
Herb Street on the call was like, I think Sankey may take a look at this. What? What are they
Drama.
going to suspend a guy for nudging a guy with his elbow? Come on, get real. It's football.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. I think Sankey may look at it and say, "Hey, we need to stage some of these before all these games."
This is incredible content.
Yeah,
Keep doing this. This is fantastic.
make sure we always have a camera out there to catch it.
I would say Mike Elko making the quarterback switch was the correct call. I picked LSU to win the football game because I did not trust Connor Wigman.
Did
And he
he?
completely validated my opinion. But he was so bad that they took him out, Ted. And
I,
Marcel Reed saves the day. Aggies roll.
I was flipping back and forth between the World Series and that game, and I think I flipped it back right whenever Elko, they showed maybe the show in the replay of him telling that he was going with Reed. Did I catch the little half like smile smirk from what is that what that was?
I he had there's nothing he could have said to be like,
Yeah.
Coach, I deserve to stay in. Their offense was doing nothing and then forced some turnovers, Reed's in, and it exploded. Fun to
Yeah.
watch. The only other thought I have on this game, I typically am a massive fan of the all black look. For some reason, Texas A&M's doesn't do it for me. I'm not sure why. I think it goes back to your theory where I should be able to turn the game on, like a big game on, and know who's playing right away.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, is this Iowa State?
Yeah. I get that. I I love the look. It's almost like if you're playing against another traditional uniform, you shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like in LSU's got to,
Yeah, but
instantly.
they were all white, so it wasn't exactly their traditional look either.
Oh,
So it
were
was
they?
all white versus all black. Yeah, they were
I
in
didn't
white
even
helmets.
notice that. I
Yeah,
didn't notice that.
they
Okay.
were all white. They were whited out. It was white out versus blackout.
It was
They,
all
how about
black
this?
unis look great.
They, it's impossible to make them look bad. Maybe
Yeah.
this small tweak. They had Aggies on the helmet.
Just keep
Just
it legit.
just throw the normal symbol on there, and maybe I would feel better about it. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
They got a good logo. I
Yeah.
don't know, or just for whatever reason, their all black unis didn't cause the typical reaction I have to a team rolling out all black unis. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could just be a me issue.
It's hard to say the way they played in them in the second half, like as physical as that football. Like you can't wear all black and then go out and be a spread offense, and you're dinking and dunking it. Like you better show me something on defense, physical. I don't know. For me, maybe that's why it worked for me, but I don't know. And maybe it's that I A&M. I don't dislike their regular uniform, but they don't make my like top 10 list. Maybe that's why I was okay with it.
Interesting. I think that's fair.
No.
Like I said, it could just be a me thing. This is the hard hitting analysis that people listen to this podcast for. Let's move on to the Missouri Alabama game. We don't have to spend much time on this one. 34 to nothing. The Tide rolls. Brady Cook left the game with a hand injury. It was 6 to nothing with that happen. And then, my goodness, did we all get to enjoy the Drew Pine experience?
Mm.
Horrible interception. Bama punches it in. It was 13-0 at the half. You knew Drew Pine was playing quarterback the rest of the way for Missouri. This game was over. I I did think Jalen Milroe looked better physically.
Yeah.
He had a couple of those runs where you go, "Oh my
Ooh.
gosh,
Yeah.
this guy's ridiculous." He didn't have those against Tennessee.
Right.
And that probably had a lot to do with the, talent that Tennessee's got on defense, but I thought that Milroe looked better in the running game. Thought he threw it pretty well as well. When you run for 271 yards, you got a great chance to win the football game, Ted. Bama was assaulting Missouri on the ground.
They were. That's it was I don't know, maybe it's good, whatever, but Alabama physically looked more like we're used to seeing Alabama control football games. Right. Like usually it just kind of sticks out that they're the bigger, faster, stronger football team, and that's what it looked like.
They have so many playmakers. You just Jam Miller. You saw Justice Haynes, which Justice is such a great name for a running back. Love that name for a running back. He had that sweet truck stick touchdown run. You've got Williams and Bernard and Law, who I think is one of the more interesting players in college football with his body type at wide receiver. They just have so many dudes at the skill spots.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then just Missouri does you look at the two rosters, Missouri just doesn't stack up with them. I love the clip of there's a clip of Drinkwitz telling one of the corners, like, hey, this would be different if we had our quarterback. It wouldn't be that different, Eli.
I don't think so. Yeah, I saw that. It's like he is.
At least he's consistent.
I
He's
know.
consistently annoying, which I appreciate the consistency.
How did they make the blanket thing disappear?
We need answers for the blanket.
Yeah. Did no one at Missouri ever asked him that? Or
I'm
maybe
sure
we
they
just
asked
did.
him, but I haven't seen an answer.
Yeah. Okay.
I I do want to give Eli Drinkwitz some credit. He had a chance to kick one of the saddest of sad field goals when it was 34 to nothing. There's like 4.5 minutes left to go in this game. And instead of kicking the field goal to break the shutout, they went for it on 4th and 1. They got their ass stuffed, but I respected the hell out of him for not kicking the sad field goal. Good job, Eli Drinkwitz. Well done, sir.
If you could say this, he learned his lesson whenever they played A&M, whenever they took the field goal late and Elko was calling him a chicken, you know what, over there on the sideline, pointing over there at him. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's, maybe we won't do that one again.
Yeah. But you got anything else on that game? Bama is we're starting to get into that conversation of okay, what's this 12-team playoff picture going to look like? I think it's safe to say Missouri is out of that picture now, and Bama is very much in it.
They got enough playmakers, as you pointed out, that if they can right the ship and get things on track, get the confidence back, I mean, they're still dangerous enough to beat pretty much anyone. So yeah, I'm with you.
They've got LSU next
That's going to be a crazy foot. Is that one in Baton Rouge?
in Baton Rouge.
That's going to be crazy.
That's going to be awesome. Give
I
me
bet. I
Bama.
bet that is you feel like Bama, even though they've got their losses, you feel like they're the more like less up and down team as LSU, and it kind of plays into their hands a little bit. But that's going to be a wild one. That'll be fun.
Going to be a lot of fun. One more game to hit. Texas went to Nashville and played Vanderbilt and walked out of there with a win. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
27-24. At this point, Ted, if you have to go play at Vandy, I don't care how much you win by because it's not easy to go do that. And because they're a good football team.
yep.
They are a good football team. So you're just happy walking out of Nashville with a win. Now, and that's what Texas did. They did just enough to walk out of there with a win and just keep this thing moving down the road.
Man, it felt like they had the thing wrapped up, and the next thing you know, Vanderbilt's kicking a onside kick with about what 40, 45 seconds left in the football game, and
Oh, you thought Diego Pavia and Vandy just were gonna go away
uh,
quietly? No, sir.
I mean it's crazy. One of those where it's like it all comes down to this. You feel like if they were able to recover that onside kick, here we go. Like they're going to go down and score a touchdown and win this football game. So credit them for being able to cover that up. But yeah, they're tough, man. They are going to be a tough out. I am looking forward to that Texas A&M game down in College Station.
Gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be awesome. I hate that it's gonna matter so much and that
Yep,
we're nowhere in the picture.
I know it.
Makes me sad. But credit those two programs, right? Extremely talented rosters, well coached, making big plays when they need to make big plays in these big games, and yeah, it's gonna be a massive football game. The only the only thing I have from the Texas Vanderbilt game, DeAndre Moore is becoming quite the playmaker for Texas. There are a lot of guys on that football team that are extremely highly recruited, and DeAndre Moore is certainly one of those guys, but he keeps showing up, Ted, especially with Bond banged up and not being a significant factor right now. Moore goes 6 for 97, scores 2 touchdowns. That guy's making plays
Yeah.
for them. And when 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 you have playmakers out, other guys have to step up, and DeAndre Moore is stepping up for Texas.
I think he's the guy that recovered the onside kick too
He
at the end of
is.
the game. Yeah, it's big time. Yeah, I mean that's what you got to have. Whenever someone else is falling out or slowed or gone for the season, you got to have guys step in and pick up the slack.
I also continue to believe that we should allow Diego Pavia to play college football as long as he wants to.
Yeah,
What are
just
that touchdown throw he had? It just goes through bodies and arms. And somehow
No
Junior Cheryl
idea.
catches it. I don't know how it got there, but he's just wildly entertaining. The first the first sequence of the game, batted ball interception for Ewers. Pavia goes diving into the end zone, reaching for the pylon. It's like, hey, could we get real weird today? It didn't end up getting real weird because Texas dominated the second quarter, but he's just, dude, he's so entertaining to watch.
Yeah. What's the rest of their schedule look like? Have you seen? I mean, do they have any more big opportunities? Let's see. They got at Auburn, South Carolina, and then LSU and Tennessee. Like both of those teams are still in the playoff picture, and I know LSU's got the two losses. They're 6-2, but they've got to get past Vandy, which that's going to be fun to try have them have to slip by that. I mean, heart pounding game late in the season to a team like them to get like that you were looking at before the season. It's like, oh, at least we got an easy week before we play Alabama. If you're LSU, no, 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 not happening. I guess that's before they play us.
They they have everyone's attention now.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. And they were ranked 25th coming into this game this weekend. I don't really see a reason why they should drop.
No. I mean, if you
Played
take the
Texas pretty
number five
tough.
team to the wire, I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the weekend. But first, Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to be your hometown store for the best brands at the best prices in the state of Oklahoma. And now shopping at Academy is more convenient than ever. They offer free assembly on in store purchases of most bikes and grills, plus free and easy 1 hour curbside pickup on academy.com orders. Want to save even more every day? Open and use an Academy Sports and Outdoors credit card to get 5% off future purchases when you're approved. Save time and money at Academy Sports and Outdoors and have fun out there.
Insurica has launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
And head to opolisclothing.com for our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's OPOLIS clothing.com and use promo code TED, TED for 10% off. That's opolisclothing.com. Promo code TED for 10% off. Buttery soft and 10% off. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
The Big Ten, I think the way things are shaping up at the top of the Big Ten are awesome. Indiana, absolutely 100% for real. Handles Washington fairly easily. Game day, all that at home. They are now 8-0. Oregon playing incredibly good football. Dylan Gabriel has it rolling. 8-0. Pennsylvania State, the Nittany Lions, they get another nice win. 7-0. Here's what's interesting. None of those teams play each other down the stretch.
Whoa.
Right. Indiana still has Ohio State. Penn State has Ohio State. Oregon has neither one of those, and obviously already played Ohio State. So are you going to end up with a three-way tie there at the end? Who knows, right? That would be wild.
And the interesting thing, you mentioned Indiana and Penn State both still have Ohio State. Ohio State got all they wanted from Nebraska. Like it looked like they were going to lose
I
that
know.
game for a
As it
while.
sits right now, I think I'd pick both of those teams to beat Ohio State.
Really.
Yeah.
It, Indiana needs to get Rourke back.
Yes. And I mean, if what they said is true, he should be back for that game.
I think you feel much better if you're and nothing against Taven Jackson. I thought he played well. I thought he played well this weekend. managed the game at a high level against Washington, did everything he needed to do.
He's just not near the passer that Rourke is.
Yeah, Rourke just has so much more experience.
Yeah.
And when you're playing a team with elite athletes, like you have to make quick decisions.
Yeah. And he knows
So
that offense because he came with that offense, right? Isn't that how what his situation is? Rourke.
no, he Rourke
Oh,
came from
that's right.
Ohio.
He's from Ohio. Okay, that's right.
Signetti, Google him.
I
He
just win,
wins.
baby.
I mean, that that's a really interesting situation though in the Big Ten. You start thinking about the playoff picture. The conversation was always, hey, how many teams is the SEC going to get in? Big Ten sitting pretty. And
Yeah.
let's say Ohio State beats Indiana, but loses to Penn State.
Splits. Still looking at four teams perhaps getting in. I mean, almost guaranteed to get in.
I think you take that if you're the Big Ten
Yeah.
and
Because
you've got probably two in that situation with Ohio State and Oregon, where you feel are legit national title contenders, like they can go and win it all.
yeah. Yeah, I mean it's been pretty good for I mean there's a large fall off after those four teams. I mean, which you would expect with, Illinois handled pretty easily, which that was kind of a surprise to me that as good as they've been defensively, how easily they got handled. But that's the deal. Oregon is rolling. Oregon's got Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Washington left. I mean, I
They're
expect
going
them
undefeated.
to totally cruise and go undefeated. Yeah.
They're going
It's college
undefeated.
football. Anything can happen. We all know that. But I mean, if you look at that list, considering what they've done and how they've looked, it would be hard to find a loss in there with any of those four teams.
And the good thing about Oregon, it feels like they're gaining steam.
Yeah.
Like they're getting better and better each week. And I
Slow
think it has a
start,
lot.
and then they've ramped up.
I think that win over Ohio State probably instilled a new level of belief in that locker room. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we got a chance to do something special this season. And if you're walking into the building every day with that feeling, typically you're getting better and things are gonna improve. I imagine the vibes in that building in Eugene are very high.
Yes. Very high.
Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
I had to go Oklahoma State. Man, they've lost five straight. Played at Baylor, who, going in, Baylor was I think a 3-4 football team. Uh Not very good. And Oklahoma State, they come battling back. I mean, it was a fairly tight game all the way, kind of a seesaw battle. And Baylor took that 31-20 lead in the fourth quarter about midway through. And Oklahoma State answers to make it 31-28 with about, just under 5 minutes. They got a chance to get a stop, get the ball back, and who knows, go make things interesting, maybe come in with the touchdown and win the football game. And they give up a long run for a touchdown where a guy runs through about five tacklers. You have a safety that comes in and just doesn't even make an attempt at a tackle. I mean, basically runs in there and just kind of falls down to his knees, doesn't even attempt it. And then looks like to me on the chase to the goal line, there's not a whole lot of effort there on, a moment where you still have a chance to save the football game. That was that was interesting to see.
It's it's hard to give up 345 yards rushing in a college football game, but Oklahoma State managed to do it. And this is Baylor. It's not Army. That is just there is an unacceptable level of defense being played in Stillwater. Every time I'm watching them, it is chunk play after chunk play after chunk play that defense is giving up.
Yeah.
And that's another example. Games on the line, need to stop. What was it? A 55-yard touchdown run for Baylor?
Yep.
Missed
55.
tackles all over the place. 1 week after you lose to BYU on the last play of the game, where there's just missed tackles all over the place.
Well,
That defense is a mess.
I got bad news for them because they got Scatterboo and Arizona State coming to town, and Arizona State is a 5-2 football team, and they're coming off a bye week. So they better get their run defense right because that is a physical running football team. And Scatterboo is a lot to handle, gets stronger as the game goes on. So they better figure it out. They got Arizona. They still got to go to TCU, Tech, and then they end at Colorado, which don't look no. Colorado.
We'll get to that in my winners and losers. But first, Lucy Breakers are 100% pure nicotine pouches with an extra burst of flavor, and you can get them delivered right to your front door. Go to lucy.co and use promo code breakdown at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's lucy.co and use promo code breakdown. The go-tos, mint, 4 milligram. It's all I need out on the golf course, Ted.
I like it.
Now, I
I
know
like
some
it.
people a little more hardcore. They want those 8 milligram breakers. I get it.
Woo.
Totally get it. We may have popped those, a couple of the espresso eights in on the way to Memphis this weekend. They come in a variety of flavors. You can get these Lucy Breakers in a variety of flavors, including classics like mint, but they also have got berry citrus, espresso, and mango. You can even set up a subscription to make things even more convenient. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co and use promo code breakdown for 20% off your first order. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. My winner of the weekend. God bless the Oklahoma City Thunder. We need them now more than ever. We need them now more than ever, Ted. I, with what we're all going through in the state of Oklahoma from a football perspective, except for UCL Broncos, keep rolling, boys. Roll Chos. But OU fans suffering. OSU fans suffering. It's dark. It's dark right now for football fans here in the state, but there's just this beam of light that is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we all need something in this state to bring us joy right now, and it's this basketball team.
It's going to get us through the winter of discontent, huh?
I I hope so because and they've had a fantastic start to the season. Started 2-0, one in Denver on Thursday night, one in Chicago on Saturday night, and I really appreciated them on Saturday night. I walk in, we get home on the flight, drive home, walk in. My two sons are there to greet me. They give me a hug. I'm like, oh, that makes me feel a little better after watching OU lose again. I look up on the TV and the Thunder are up by 20, and I just went, yes, I needed that. I needed it, and it just brought me some much needed joy after watching OU lose another football game. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, you wondered like how much better can this guy get, and he looks fantastic.
He
Teddy
does.
had 28, 7, and 8 against the Nuggets, had 23 and 8 and 2 against Chicago, and he gets wherever he wants on the floor. But the thing that really is standing out to me is he's starting to take these pull-up threes. His shot looks so much better mechanically. He looks like he's shooting it with more confidence. May God help the rest of the league if this guy is just shooting pull up threes at a high clip. There's no way to guard him if he's going to
Yeah.
do that. It's impossible.
Yeah. The athleticism, the length. Yeah, man, And whenever you combine, they're still in that phase where it's not necessarily what you see is what you get. They got a bunch of guys that are getting better, like year by year. Like that's when the team is really dangerous. They haven't peaked.
The Chet Holmgren guy is better.
Yeah, that's
Best player on the
specifically
floor.
who I'm
Yeah,
referencing.
he's the best player on the floor against Denver. 25, 14, 5, and 4 blocks.
Man,
Had 21 and 16 and 2 blocks for Chicago on Saturday night. It feels like he's holding up better in the paint. It feels like his body control is better. It looks like he looks noticeably stronger as a rebounder. Now,
what they say, 25 pounds or so he put on.
yeah, looks much better. Got a tan, which I think that helps.
Yeah, and it's going to help him when they get the other big guy back.
Yeah, when Jalen Williams is back and when Hartenstein's back,
Yeah.
they're going to be. I mean, he's going to be doing some different things, but the only complaint right now is having some issues shooting the ball. He's 0-10 from three to start the season, and he's only shooting, I think, 61% from free throw. It's got to be better. He's a better shooter than that. But
It'll
you
come
just
around.
have to assume that stuff is going to work itself out. He's doing such a better job at getting to the rim in a variety of different ways. And it makes him even more difficult to defend. Jalen Williams, nice bounce back game against Chicago. What, 24, 9, and 8? That'll work after he struggled a little bit shooting the rock in Denver in the opener. I think when I look at the team overall, the most encouraging thing is there are some stretches where you just watch the level of defense. And remember, these are the first two regular season games.
Hmm.
Like they're still trying to figure some things out, but there's some stretches of the games where they look like they have the other team in a torture chamber. There's deflections, the intensity, and I think that Caruso adds to that. Clearly, Dort, we all know what he is on the defensive end, but it feels like that's the culture now of the team.
Hmm.
Is this is what it looks like when we're defending. It's not perfect all the time, but it just feels like their length and athleticism just has teams in hell when
Hmm.
they are really dialed in defensively.
Yeah, and the fact that you can, like, we all know kind of how it goes at times, but like whenever they're going to need to like really crank up the defense in specific spots, they got the guys that have the mindset, they got the lockdown guys, they've got the length. That's why a lot of people are picking them to win it all, not just go to the finals.
Expectations are high,
They
and I'm
are
here
high.
for it, baby. The time of us, oh, we're kind of an underdog. No, those days are over. We got to embrace the expectations, walk around with our chest puffed out. I know it's hard with how OU football and OSU football are going, but hey, the the Thunder are inspiring an entire state to be confident. Let's go.
Are they? I haven't seen any of like the odds or anything, but uh, where do they lie as far as like the favorite to win the finals?
Second
The
behind
second,
Boston.
like
He,
that, it ramped up quickly from where they were 2 years ago to now. Ramped up very quickly.
of course, staying healthy and all that stuff it
Sure.
matters. But Hardenstein goes out. He's going to be gone for probably another 5 weeks, and they look fantastic. Now,
Mhm.
home opener against Atlanta tonight. Going so excited, and I expect him to win the game. Even though the Hawks really interesting roster for the Hawks, so I'm excited to see what it looks like. But we've only seen 2 games from this team, but it's pretty obvious this team's going to be a major factor.
Mhm.
And the expectations are extremely high. And this group as a whole doesn't look like those expectations bother them at all,
Yeah.
which is great.
Seems like it's kind of the perfect core group, you know? So, yeah, man. Gonna be fun.
We're going to talk a lot of basketball on here. If we've got the best team in the NBA in our state, we got to talk quite a bit of basketball. Just, I hope it brings me. OU football just has such a large effect on my emotional well being. And I just, It's not going to balance all the way out, but damn it, it'll help. And I think a lot of people feel the same way that I do.
Yep.
My loser of the weekend, and we may be in this category, Ted. The people that doubted Deion Sanders in Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, they have turned into a shockingly well organized football team, and they've battled through some injuries and stuff and been able to keep their heads afloat, and dare I say, getting better as the season rolls on.
Colorado beat Cincinnati on Saturday night, 34-23, which makes Colorado bowl eligible at 6-2 for the first time since 2016. We're not counting the bowl game they played in 2020 in that weird year. I When I watch this team, Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter are just must see TV for me.
Yeah.
Sanders may be the best quarterback in the country. I think he's got a great chance to be the first quarterback taken in the draft.
All things equal, it's hard to say that he's not. If everyone's playing behind the same offensive line with the same skill position guys and all of those, if all things equal, I mean, hard to pick anyone else at this point.
I'm with you. I agree. He was really good again, and I guess he had the flu all week and still went out there and balled.
No big
So that's
deal.
that's always impressive, but it always helps to have Travis Hunter. Guy's amazing. 9 for 153, 2 touchdowns. Did you see him hit the standing backflip after the first one?
Yeah, no big deal. Just flip it over.
Also had like 4 PBUs in the game. Guy's just ridiculous. He's the best player in college football.
60 receptions for 757 and 8 touchdowns.
And
While
remember, he missed
yeah,
3 quarters with that shoulder injury.
while also being one of the better corners in the country. And Shador right now, 2,600 passing yards, 73% completion, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Running for his life.
Colorado also playing serviceable defense.
Yeah.
Physical at the line of scrimmage, not getting a ton of penalties, organized. Now they have some deficiencies. There's no doubt about it, but their defense is giving them a chance to win games. And when you've got arguably the best quarterback in the country and arguably the best wide receiver in the country,
Give me a chance.
just give them a chance. And that's what they're doing.
Just let us have the football uh, with a chance to win the game in the last series or two. Yeah.
Deion Sanders deserves praise. He has revitalized that program. Place was sold out and rocking again. They're selling a ton of merch. They're getting all kinds of exposure. But the most important thing, they're winning games.
Mm-hmm.
6-2, 4-1 in Big 12 play. They've got Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State left. All winnable.
All winnable. Utah at home.
Utah stinks right now.
Yeah.
They just lost to Houston.
4-4 football team, 1-4 in conference.
Colorado, they've got, it's not even really an outside shot. They've got a good shot to make the conference title game.
Do Iowa State and BYU play each other? Let's
Yes,
see.
it was a
No,
guess.
they do not.
They don't. Oh, that's
No.
kind of unfortunate for Colorado because Colorado doesn't play either of them either.
Iowa State has Tech, Kansas, Cincinnati, Utah, and K-State and Iowa State playing the last game of the season.
Makes things tough for Colorado because remember, they lost to K State.
Right. And
So,
then BYU has Utah, Kansas, Arizona State, Houston.
so
But
maybe the odds aren't great for Colorado to make the title game, but the fact that we're having that conversation is impressive.
Is it, even though BYU already beat K State, is it weird that I say between BYU, Iowa State, K State, and Colorado that BYU is probably who I would have fourth out of those teams?
I think that's a perfect way to describe the Big 12.
Right. Yeah.
But when you look at it, and maybe Colorado needs a little help, but 10-2 and playing for a conference title is on the table.
Yeah. I mean,
And
almost a disappointment if they're not 10-2 at this, I think, with the way they're playing right now and what their schedule looks like.
if Deion Sanders will just embrace high school recruiting a little bit, just put like a little effort into it. Just only go and fly and meet the 5 stars. Uh, Colorado, if he wants to stay there long term, once you have a quarterback go in, he's probably what Shadur's going to go top 5. Let's say top 10 at the very least.
Hmm.
Once you've proven to be able to have a quarterback in your system go that early in the draft, other quarterbacks are going to want to come play in the system. They're going to want to have the experience that these guys are having at Colorado. You should be able, if Deion Sanders wants to stay there long term, which I don't know if he does or not, but they should be able to build off this, man, and get some more talent into that program. That program gets more, maybe more exposure than any other program
It
from a
does.
media coverage perspective, and the stuff, all the stuff that they put out. Maybe not more than it. Ohio State gets more, Bama gets more, Georgia gets more of those. Like, but the list is short.
I bet they get more exposure to people that aren't built-in fans of theirs. You know,
Yeah,
like Ohio State has a massive fan, like most of those other places have massive fan bases that chew up their content, but Colorado is, a team that everyone gets to watch pretty much week in, week out that doesn't have a big fan base. It's interesting though, like some of the jobs that are going to be open. Let's a quick reminder: Florida State is 1-7 right now.
he just signed an extension.
Yeah.
I I think Dion, if he wanted to, anyone that's ever been to Boulder, it's a cool town.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a fun place to go to school, from what I understand. If he just wanted to stay at Colorado and build that thing, if he just puts a little effort into the high school recruiting stuff, I didn't believe this until this season. Like, I think Colorado could be the best program in the Big 12.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not unheard of. Colorado has previously had an excellent program. I mean, so it's not. We know that it can be done there. However, difficult, different eras, but I mean, he bridges the gap massively. I hope he stays in Colorado and it doesn't. I mean, can you imagine if he was to go to a school in like kind of in the heart of where the majority of the players come from? Like if he were to go to an Auburn who's, 3-5 right now, or I mean, Florida, I don't know. I don't know where some of those options are necessarily, just kind of throwing some out there. Like he could do some serious damage just by the amount of players that I think he could get.
Could you imagine how heartbroken Florida State would be if Dion took the Florida job?
Hasn't he had some like really negative back and forth with Florida State or
Yeah,
something?
some interesting quotes over the
Yeah.
last couple of years, but I don't know. All I know, there are a lot of opinions about him getting that job, then how it went in year one, what this year was going to look like, and To that man's credit and those players and those coaches' credit, they're winning games, which is fun.
It wasn't very long ago that he was just like a TV commentator and then said he wanted to go start coaching. And uh, most people, myself included, dismissed that as no way. I mean, come on, give me a break here. And just a handful of years later, he's worked his way up to a team that has a chance to maybe go compete for a conference title in the Power Four.
They run the table the rest of the way. They're going to the playoff.
There you go. And they may have the best quarterback in the playoff.
And he may win coach of the year.
They would go to the playoff with a bye.
Yeah,
Be crazy. Sign me up for the craziness though. It's what I want.
I'm with you. Give me Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter in the playoff. I want to watch it. Why
Give me
not?
Army, Colorado in round two of the playoffs.
Oh my gosh. Birthday shout outs. Happy 12th birthday to Farrah Frisbee.
Happy 20th birthday to Joseph Zodro.
I think it's one or the other.
Zodro.
Happy 21st birthday to Nick Ripple.
Happy 49th birthday to Jason Inlow.
And on that note, episode 469 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Wednesday. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hope you all have a great start to your week. Just let's all stick together. Until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.